Welcome to this mini podcast series that is a preview for Brisbane Designscape Reconnect 23, a live event being held in Brisbane on the 4th of November 2023, hosted by OfficeScape. The theme for the day is Reconnect. My name is Paul Fairweather and I am the curator and MC for the day. And in this series of short interviews, I chat with the speakers and presenters about their ideas, insights, stories and observations about reconnection in their life, business, passion or career. My guest today is Anita and Alec Hamilton. Anita and Alec are exponents of a phenomena called serious play, which is using Lego as a tool to really connect and get teams to understand strategy and solve difficult problems. I had a great chat about what we might expect on the 4th of November. Alec and Anita Hamilton, welcome to the Reconnect 23 mini podcast series for Brisbane Designscape. Boy, that's a mouthful.
Hi. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
So I'm really looking forward to you both presenting on the 4th of November at our live event. And you guys are very serious about playing with Lego. So, which is obviously all about connection.
Yep.
Yeah, we are. We're probably being polite to each other and letting each other go first. We are. We've been serious about Lego serious play for about 5 years now.
So this Lego serious play is something that you do, I'm assuming, not with kids, or maybe with kids, but with businesses.
Well, in my space, I actually work with university students and also university educators using Lego Serious Play to guide how I work. But yes, Lego Serious Play did emerge from the Lego company, and it was designed to work with businesses to help them solve really tricky problems and to imagine futures by using their hands, not their words. So I don't know how much you know about the history of the journey of Lego Serious Play, but it did emerge in the business space.
Oh, right, yeah. Look, I was aware of that.
Yeah.
And what about you, Alec? What's the field that you work stroke play in?
Yeah, so I'm a psychologist, so mine's in a more therapeutic use of it. And so what Anita and I have done, and a few people around the world have done as well, is really taken that concept of Lego Serious Play into a wider audience, I suppose. Mine specifically is, if you like, it's seriously therapeutic play. It's focusing on using Lego to make those connections with yourself and others. And it's really about, again, as Anita said, it's about building with your hands rather than using language. And so we sort of work around some of the blockers that we've seen, probably business as well, where there's blockers when communication, when we limit to building a story or building a metaphor about something, it helps us sort of shift around some of those blocks, some of those conflicts, probably might be the right word. And Anita uses it at the university as well, in terms of with her students too.
So I'm assuming that block is an intended pun?
Yes.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. But we'll try. I wish I was that clever, but yes.
I'm just curious. You mentioned where Alex is. You mentioned there about the connecting, and obviously, it's very literal in some ways. The thing about connecting Lego, and Lego is all about the whole paper was all about it. But can you expand a little bit more on that, on either of you, just about this whole idea of people connecting using Lego?
Yeah. So if we think about it in terms of from self out to others, then the first part that I would work on is connecting to self. So the idea of using Lego is to build a model, build a metaphor about the issue or the question that you have. And so then what happens is the model then allows us to look at something in 3 dimensions. And we very rarely look at our problems in 3 dimensions. And so we can turn things upside down. And with some people I've done this, they've actually turned the model upside down, and then you go, gee, if we look at it this way, what do we see? And then if we take it from that individual, what we can do in small groups or in larger groups, we can then make connections if it's a common problem, we can make connections between how I see it in my model with how they see it. And so we then start to build all of these connections, which then that's probably where Anita comes in terms of whole group, building a story, building a metaphor that has connections. And there's little pieces in Lego called connections. There are connectors, and we use some of those in building those bigger models that Lego Serious Play that's its basic aim, is to build large models with connections.
So what I do with my students is I firstly get them to connect with themselves by exploring their values using Lego to build a model. But we don't say, what are your values? That's just too tricky. You're going to put blocks up to answering that question. But we'll ask a simple question like, build a model that represents your concept of your ideal career. And so once they build that and then they start to talk about their ideal career, and this is my first year's, it's really good to hear about that. They then you start to hear their values emerge in the story they tell about their model. And then you also hear about the values of the people they're telling the story to. So the students are actually narrating and describing their model to each other. So when they do that, they're connecting with themselves and starting to connect with each other. But I also use it during the semester in other ways, and then to explore different concepts, theoretical models. By the end, we have a whole group, like 40 students, all building different models around the room, and that's representing the concepts learned each week of the semester, and then bringing those to the front of the classroom and then explaining what were the concepts learned in week 1. What did we discover about occupational therapy as our topic? And then they place that at the front, and then we go week 2, week 3, week 4, etc. But then we build connections. People come up and say, well, there's a connection between week 1 here, and there was a connection between week 3. That concept was those really related to each other. And then once they've done that, we stand around the model and look at it and go, oh my gosh, what a huge amount of learning we've had. And it's sort of recognizing the journey and the difficulty of learning, but also celebrating that actually we can teach each other this way and we can remember this way by revisiting all these concepts. So it's a very enjoyable activity. And extremely colourful. So,
look, I love it, and look, I'm really looking forward to your presentation. And you are there's a special gift for every attendee, which we won't spoil. So, look, thanks a lot for sharing your time and your insights, and we'll look forward to seeing you the 4th of November.
Fantastic. Look forward to it, Paul.
I trust you enjoyed this short snippet preview for Brisbane Designscape Reconnect 23, live event being held on the 4th of November at 108 Wickham Street, Fortitude Valley. Tickets are now on sale, and you can just click on the link below in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in.